ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Do you remember last week we stopped at 6th Canto, chapter 9 or 10? We wanted to cover the purports, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, Prabhuji. Purports has to be covered.
For the 10th chapter?
The chapter was Prabhuji these the prayers of devatas to Lord.
Yeah. So chapter number 9, part 2 then, or 3. So we need to cover chapter 9
Yes, sorry. After the Lord appeared, then
from
after
verse
the
30.
purport.
From verse 30.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So I think I may have to change the title of the YouTube link. We'll do that later. So, yes, exclusively we wanted to cover this chapter for this part this week because these are the prayers that the devatas have offered after the Lord has appeared. Hmm? Atmatulya Shodashabhir Vina Srivatsa Kaustubha. There were 16. Yeah. So, attendants of the Lord who appeared, decorated just like the Lord himself, except there was no Srivatsa and Kaustubha jewel. And um, so, O king, when all the demigods saw the Supreme Lord, and then they fell flat, offered their dandavats, and then slowly rose and offered their prayers. Hmm. So, Namaste Yajna Viryaya Vayase Uta Te Namaha Namaste Asya Ashta Chakraya Namah Supura Supuru Hutaya. So, in this session, we will just cover mainly the mood of the demigods. I think all of us have to understand that we cannot imitate anyone, but we can just follow. And for following, we need to imbibe the mood. And of course, again, these moods are of different um, kinds, depending on the person in which level one is. Here, the devatas are offering the prayers. Yeah, you control the three destinations. Yet your supreme abode is Vaikuntha. This is something interesting, right? In today's world, we know that a leader, if he is a prime minister of a nation, he has to, yeah, he is bound by the laws of the world that he is ruling or the nation he is ruling. The Lord, who controls the three destinations, uh, yet he has his own home, which is Vaikuntha. Since we appear after you created this cosmic manifestation, your activities are impossible for us to understand. So, of course, we know if if a, if a foreigner want to become the leader, it's not easy. One has to become a citizen and then follow some ways of living, and then he is eligible. No, the Lord is, in a way, has nothing to do with this material world because he has his own home, spiritual world, and he controls these three worlds along with that. And in the purport, Prabhupada brings this Srila Madhvacharya quotes the following: Deva lokat pitra lokat nirayas chapi yat param. Um, one second, zoom a bit. Yeah. Tisrabhya paramam sthanam Vaishnavam vidusham gatihi. There are different planetary systems known as Devaloka, Pitraloka, and Niraya, the hell. When one transcends these three various planetary systems and enters Vaikuntha Loka, he achieves the ultimate resort of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas have nothing to do with the ordinary planetary systems. And the devatas are offering this Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Narayana Vasudeva Adi Purusha Mahapurusha. I mean, yeah, yes, last week we discussed, went through that. And yesterday during the Bhakti Vriksha, we had a question about the Brahman. So in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned the Supreme Personality of Godhead has numerous transcendental names pertaining to different grades of revelation to various grades of devotees and transcendentalists. I don't know if Pragati Mataji, you are there? Yes. So this is highlighting that the Lord, of course, has innumerable names, and because of numerous transcendental names, or because of his to the grade the Lord reveals to devotee to various grades of devotees and transcendentalists. When he is realized in his impersonal form, he is called Supreme Brahman, which is Parabrahman. When realized as Paramatma, he is called Antaryami. When he expands himself in different forms for material creation, he is called Kshiradakashai Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and Karanadakashai Vishnu. When he is realized as Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, the Chaturvyuha, who are beyond the three forms of Vishnu, he is the Vaikuntha Narayana. Above realization of Narayana is realization of Baladeva, and above that is realization of Krishna. All these realizations are possible when one engages fully in devotional service. The covered core of one's heart is then completely open to receiving an understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in various forms. Uh, that's why in the next uh, Duravabodha iva tavayam vihara yogo yad asarana sarasi idam anavekshitasmat samavaya. Um, in this regard, the devatas are saying, you need no support. Hmm? And you're difficult to understand. Dura Vabodaya. Durava Bodhaya. It's very difficult to understand you, and Vihara, engagement in pastimes of material creation are not at all easy to understand. You create, maintain, annihilate this cosmic manifestation by yourself. Nevertheless, although you appear engaged in material activity, you are transcendental to all material qualities. Consequently, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. This is very important. One may say the devatas, hmm, they are not perfect beings. Yeah, they are not spiritual entities, or they are still under the influence of three modes. Yeah. So when they are glorifying, are they glorifying the Lord perfectly? Huh? How can the materialist can glorify the spiritual personality? So here we have to understand that these are not pure materialists. They are have undergone great endeavors and process of becoming devotional. Because of that qualifications, they have been appointed as the devatas. In one way, they are very special. So one should offer all respects to the devatas, demigods. At the same time, demigods themselves say that, okay, yeah, these transcendental activities of yours are extremely difficult to understand. So this helps us to understand who is supreme. Hmm? In the purport, Prabhupada refers to Brahma Samhita, Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhutam. Where is the Lord home? Goloka. It is also said, Vrindavanam parityajya padam ekam na gacchati. I don't leave Vrindavan even for a moment. Krishna never goes even a step from Vrindavan. Nevertheless, although Krishna is situated in his own abode, which is Goloka Vrindavan, he is simultaneously all pervading and is therefore present everywhere. And that's why this is very difficult for a conditioned soul to understand. But devotees can understand how Krishna, without undergoing any changes, can simultaneously be in his abode and be all pervasive. The demigods are understood to be various limbs of the Supreme Lord's body. Although the Supreme Lord has no material body and does not need anyone's help, he is spread everywhere. Hmm? Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. I am spread everywhere. Nevertheless, he is not present everywhere in his spiritual form. This is the understanding. According to Mayavada philosophy, the supreme truth, being all pervasive, does not need a transcendental form. The Mayavadis suppose that since his form is distributed everywhere, he has no form, which is misunderstanding. Because in the Ishopanishad invocation, there is this Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyate, Purnasya, Purvasya, Purnamadaya, Purnam Eva Vasishyate. The Lord is complete. His creation is complete. And even, so which means when we say Lord is complete and his creation is complete, are these two different? No. Everything that is material is coming from the Lord. In spite of everything is coming out from the Lord, it doesn't mean Lord becomes partial. He is still complete. This Mayavad philosophy is not able to understand that. Hmm? The Lord keeps his transcendental form and at the same time he extends everywhere in every nook and corner of the material creation. Ata tatra bhavan kim devadattavat iha guna visarga patita para tantrena swakrita kushalam phalam upadadati aho svit atma rama upasama shila samanjasa darshana udashta iti ha vava na vidhavama. Again, the devatas are saying vidamaha. I cannot understand. Na vidamaha. With means no. Na vidamaha. I can't. Huh? We do not understand that. What is that? These are our inquiries. What is that? The ordinary conditioned soul is subject to material laws and he thus receives the fruits of his actions. Does your lordship, like an ordinary human being, exist within this material world in a body produced by material modes? Do you enjoy or suffer the good or bad results of the actions under the influence of time, past work, and so forth? Or, on the contrary, are you present here only as a neutral witness who is self sufficient, free from all material desires, and always full of spiritual potency? We certainly cannot understand your actual position. In the Papa Buddhim, in the Ishopanishad, in the one of the shlokas, there is this word called apapa vidham. Um, so in the purport, Prabhupada is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he descends to this material world for two purposes. What is that? Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the sadhus. Vinashaya cha dushkritam, to relieve the devotees and to kill demons or non-devotees. These two kinds of actions are the same for absolute truth. When the Lord comes to punish the demons, he bestows his favor upon them. Uh, on an absolute sense, it is not that, oh, miscreants are punished, means Lord does not like the miscreants. No, Lord is relieving the miscreants from the actions of committing more disturbances, by rectifying, by punishing. So here he is, but yeah. He is always full in his transcendent in spiritual potency, by which he shows equal mercy to the punishable and to the protectable. The Lord is apapa vidham. He is never contaminated by the reactions of so-called sinful activities. When Krishna was present on this earth, he killed many inimical non-devotees, but they all received sarupya. In other words, returned to the original spiritual bodies. One who does not know the Lord's position says that God is unkind to him, but merciful to others. Hmm? Actually, the Lord says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshto asti dveshyo asti na priya. I am equal to everyone. No one is my enemy and no one is my friend. But he also says, Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. But if one becomes my devotee and fully surrenders unto me, I give him special attention. Because of this special exceptional cases and all these things, now we cannot understand things, and then that's why the devatas are saying we can't understand. He's saying, I mean, there is further, it says next verse, you are one without a second, and therefore in your contradictions, like doing and not doing, happiness and distress are not contradictory. Your potency is so great that it can do and undo anything as you like. With the help of that potency, what is impossible for you? Since there is no duality in your constitutional position, you can do everything by the influence of your energy. Hmm. So, as a devotee, we should, I mean, the purport Prabhupada mentions, we should not be astonished to find contradictions in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, there are no contradictions. That is the meaning of his being supreme. Because he is all powerful, he is not subject to the conditioned soul's arguments regarding his existence or non existence. He is pleased to protect his devotees by killing their enemies. He enjoys both the killing and the protecting. Now, I mean, the purport, I'm just going quickly through the other part of it. Non devotees cannot understand the contradictions present in the Supreme Lord or his devotees. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Bhaktiyama Vijnanati. The transcendental pastimes can be understood through devotional service. To non devotees, they are inconceivable. Achintya khalu ye bhava natam tarkena yojayet. The Supreme Lord and his forms, names, pastimes, and paraphernalia are inconceivable to the non devotees. And one should not try to understand such realities simply by logical arguments. They will not bring one to the right conclusion about the absolute truth. What does that mean? Is Prabhupada saying to blindly accept? Huh? To blindly accept? Blind faith is very dangerous. There are so many who are cheated because one's blind faith is uh, exploited. People are there who are ready to exploit if one has a blind faith. Huh? That's why people become jnanis. But what happens when one becomes jnani? The pride covers, and because of pride, one wants to become a guru or even you want to become a god. So that way or this way, we are gone case, right? So, but here we see that logic itself cannot bring us. At the same time, yeah, we should understand that yes, when the authorities are presenting, yeah, just like mathematics, a kid going to the first class, he may not understand everything what the teachers may say, but he has trust in the teacher that the teacher is going to present it properly. Of course, there was a funny incident when in my school days, I simply, yeah, didn't understand. And then, or rather, I thought what was taught in the eighth class was not in line with what was taught in the fourth class. And of course, I know the teacher, mathematic teacher, I was saying, teacher, this is, I think this is not correct because this is not what we read in the. Uh, then she simply sent me, go to fourth class, get a book, check what you want. what you are thinking, and then come back. Hmm. Of course, it's not I didn't have trust, but I wanted to understand further, and the teacher facilitated. Okay. And then after I went through that book, then I could see. Okay. So we cannot comprehend everything, and with our logic, with our limited knowledge, we cannot, because yeah, one may say that a plus b whole square is something, but then when it comes that okay, now the formula actually I'm looking is not for a plus b but a plus b plus c, so a variable is missing. And the more there are so many variables that are missing in our understanding to really say our logic works correctly. Even so, here it is said that one cannot approach the Lord just by logic. There are so many, come on. Our intelligence is very little. There are so many rishis who are experts, mathematicians who are experts, astrology, astronomy, in all these fields. Hmm? They are trying to understand. With logic, it doesn't work. Sama Vishama Matinam Matam Anusarasi Yatha Rajju Khanda Sarpadi Diyam. uh, Sarpadiyam. So just thinking a rope to be a snake. Hmm? A rope causes fear for a bewildered person who considers it a snake, but not for a person with proper intelligence who knows it to be only a rope. Similarly, you as a super soul in everyone's heart inspire fear or fearlessness according to one's intelligence, but in you there is no duality. A rope is one truth, but some mistake it for snake, whereas others know it to be a rope. Similarly, devotees who know the Supreme Personality of Godhead do not see contradictions in him, but non devotees regard him as the snake like source of all fear. For example, when Narasimha Deva appeared, Prahlad Maharaj saw the Lord as the supreme solace, whereas his father, a demon, saw him uh, as the ultimate death. In Bhagavatam 11th canto, Bhayam Dvitiyabhi Niveshatah Syat. Fear results from being absorbed in duality. Huh? So, Prabhupada writes, the unintelligent see contradictions in him, but the sober devotees find no contradictions. Yeah. स एव हि पुनः सर्ववस्तुनि वस्तु स्वरूपः सर्वेश्वर सकल जगत कारण कारण भूत सर्व प्रत्यक आत्मवत् आत्मत्वात् सर्व गुणाभासोपलक्षित एक एव पर्यवशेषितः. So the devatas are saying, with deliberation, one will see that the Supreme Soul, although manifested in different ways, is actually the basic principle of everything. The total material energy is the cause of material manifestation, but the material energy is caused by Him. Therefore, He is the cause of all causes. In Brahma Samhita, there is this shloka, Ekopyasa asau rachayitum jagat anda kotim. Yat Shaktir Asti Jagat Anda Chaya Yat Antaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajam. So the Lord who enters the existence of every universe and every atom. Paramanu is an atom. Every atom by one of his plenary portions and thus manifest his infinite energy throughout the material creation. So then comes the important shloka 39. अथः वाव तव महिमामृत रस समुद्र विप्रुषा सकृत् अवलीडया स्वमनसि निस्यन्दमाना नवरत सुखेन विस्मारित दृष्टश्रुत विषय सुख लेशाभाषा परम भागवता एकांतिनो भगवती सर्वभूत प्रिय सुहृदि सर्वात्मनि नितराम निरंतरम निर्वृत मनसः कथम ऊहवा एते मधु मथन पुनः स्वार्थ कुशला हि आत्मप्रिया सहृद साधव त्वच्चरणाम्बुजानुवेशां विसृजन्ति न यत्र पुनः अयं संसार पर्यावर्तः. They are saying, O Lord, you are the soul and dear friend of such devotees who never need return to this material world. How could they give up engagement in your devotional service? This is talking about uh, the Devatas are saying, therefore, O killer of Madhu demon, hmm, incessant transcendental bliss flows in the minds of those who have even once tasted just a drop. What is the word used here? Makaranda charanambuja anusevam. And Sukhena Vismarita. Such exalted devotees forget the tiny reflection of so called material happiness produced from the material senses of sight and sound. Free from all desires, such devotees are the real friends of all living entities. Yeah. Offering their minds unto you and enjoying transcendental bliss, they are expert in achieving the real goal of life. Huh? O Lord, you are the soul and dear friend of such devotees who never need to return to this material world. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions, although non-devotees, because of their meager knowledge and speculative habits, cannot understand the real nature of the Lord, a devotee who has once tasted the nectar from the Lord's lotus feet can realize what transcendental pleasure there is in Lord's devotional service. A devotee knows that simply by rendering service to the Lord, he serves everyone. Therefore, devotees are real friends to all living entities. Only a pure devotee can preach the glories of the Lord for the benefit of all conditioned souls. Hmm. And then this verse 40 is telling about Tribhuvana Atma Bhavana. Wait. Uh, Tribhuvana Atma Bhavana Trivikrama Trinayana Triloka Manoharanubhava तवैव विभूतयो दितिज धनुजादयश्चापि तेषाम् उपक्रमसमयो अयम् इति स्वात्ममायया सुरनरमृग विष्टित जलचा जलचराकृतिभिर्यथापराधं दण्डं दण्डधर दण्डार्थ एव एनम् अपि भगवन् जहि त्वाष्ट्रम् उत यदि मन्यसे. He's saying, O Lord, O personified three worlds, Father of the three worlds, O strength of the three worlds, in the form of Vamana Deva, Triloka Manohara Anubhava, O three-eyed form of Nrsimhadev, O most beautiful person within the three worlds, everything and everyone, including human beings and even the Daityas and the Danavas, is but an expansion of your energy. O supremely powerful one, you have always appeared in your forms as the various incarnations to punish the demons as soon as they become very powerful. This is important. We don't want to become powerful. Shaktiman, powerful man means one who is possessing all power. He is the Lord, Shaktiman. But okay, come on, we need to do services, we need to take care of, we need power, right? Yeah, when we engage this power properly as a via media of the Lord, then all the power uh, Lord gives is properly used. Hmm. Here said, you appear as Lord Nrsimhadeva, Lord Rama, and Lord Krishna. You appear sometimes as an animal like Lord Boar, sometimes a mixed incarnation like Lord Nrsimhadeva and Lord Hayagriva, and sometimes an aquatic like Lord Fish and Lord Tortoise. Assuming such various forms, you have always punished the demons and Danavas. We therefore pray that your Lordship appear today as another incarnation If you so desire to kill the demon, who is that? Vritrasura. Why did I pick this? Yeah, so in the purport, Prabhupada mentioned there are two kinds of devotees. One is Sakama and one is Akama. Sakama means, Akama. Pure devotee is Akama, whereas devotees in the upper planetary systems, such as the demigods, are called Sakama because they still want to enjoy material opulence. Because of their pious activities, the Sakama devotees are promoted to the higher planetary systems, but at heart they still desire to lord it over the material resources. The Sakama devotees are sometimes disturbed by the demons and Rakshasas, but the Lord is so kind that He always saves them by appearing such as an incarnation. So, yeah, the difference between Sakama and Akama devotees is that when Sakama devotees, like the demigods, fall into difficulty, they approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead for relief. Whereas Akama devotees, even in the greatest danger, never disturb the Lord for the material benefits. Hmm? Even if an Akama devotee is suffering, he thinks this is due to his past impious activities and agrees to suffer the consequences. He never disturbs the Lord. Sakama devotees immediately pray to the Lord, oh, as soon as they are in difficulty. But they are regarded as pious because they consider themselves fully dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Because they think we are so much dependent on Lord and nothing else. That's why in the Bhagavatam 10th canto, there is this shloka. Prabhupada refers quite often this shloka. Tatte anukampa susamikshamana bunjaya evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbid vidanam namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. It says that Sakama devotees, of course, sorry, achieve from the Lord the results they desire from their prayers, but they do not immediately become fit to return to Godhead. It is to be noted herein that Lord Vishnu, in his various incarnations, is always the protector of his devotees. Srila Madhvacharya says, Vividam bhava patratvat sarve Vishnur vibhutaya. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. All the other incarnations proceed from Lord Vishnu. अस्माकं तावकानां तत तत न नतानां हरे तव चरण नलिन युगल ध्यानानुबद्ध हृदय नगधानां स्वलिंग विवर विवरेणात्मसात् कृतानाम् अनुकम्पानुरञ्जित विशद रुचिर शिरस स्मितावलोकेन विगलित मधुर मुख रसामृत कलया चान्तस्तापम् अनगार्हसि समयितुम्. Hmm? So please come and curb this miscreant. Who is that? Vritrasura. He's saying, O Supreme Protector, O Grandfather, O Supreme Person, O Lord, we are all surrendered souls at your lotus feet. Indeed, our minds are bound to your lotus feet in mediation by chains of love. Now, please manifest your incarnation, accepting us as your eternal servants and devotees. Be pleased. Here, purport says, Lord Brahma is considered the father of the demigods, but Krishna or Lord Vishnu is the father of Brahma because Brahma took birth from the lotus flower grown from the Lord's um, abdomen. Yeah. In this way, they were praying, and finally, Atha eva swayam tad upakalpa yasmakam bhagavata parama gurostava charana sata palasak chayam vividha vrijina samsara parishramopasamaniyam upastra upastranam vayam yat kamenopasaditaha. Upasadita means caused to come near the shelter at the lotus feet. So, dear Lord, you are omniscient and therefore you know very well why we have taken shelter at your lotus feet. which provide shade that gives relief from all material disturbances. So, so in this way, we can say that the devatas who approached were sakamas. Your lotus feet are the only shelter for a fully surrendered devotee and are the only means for subduing all the tribulations of this material world. अथ ईश जहि त्वष्टं ग्रसन्तं भुवनत्रयं ग्रष्टानि येन न कृष्ण तेजांसि अस्त्रायुधानि च arrows. Therefore, O Lord, O Supreme Controller, O Lord Krishna, please. And he led this dangerous demon, Vritrasura, uh, Tvashta's son, who has already swallowed all our weapons and our paraphernalia for fighting, and our strength and influence. In this way, they asked, Hamsaya Dahrada Nilayaya Nirikshakaya Krishnaya Mishta Yashe Se Nirupam Nirupa Kramaya Sat Sangrahaya Bhavapanta Nijashrama Nijashrama Aptav Ante Parishta Gataye Haraye Namaste. So we offer our respectful obeisances to you. This is understood by pure devotees because you are easily accessible to the pure and truthful. When the conditioned souls are liberated and sheltered at your lotus feet, after roving throughout the material world for many millions of years, they attain the highest success of life. Hmm. So, finally, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Athaiva idito, is to worship, to offer respects. Athaiva idito rajan sadharam tri dashair harihi swam upasthanam akarna prayatam abhinanditaha. Abhinandana is feeling pleased or being pleased. Hmm. So Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj, when the demigods offered the Lord their sincere prayers, the Lord listened by his causeless mercy, and he replied, Pritoham. This is already assuring, very nice. We cannot say, hey, these devatas are very selfish. Lord may not like it. Sometimes we see the devotees are selfish. Lord will not be pleased. Lord wants pure heart. Lord wants pure devotion. No. Here he says, Pritoham va sura sreshta mad upasthana vidyaya atmaishvarya smriti pumsam bhaktischaiva yayamayi. He's saying, you have offered your prayers to me with great knowledge, and I am certainly most pleased with you. A person is liberated by such knowledge, and thus he remembers my exalted position. What is the purpose of knowledge? To remember the Lord's greatness, which is above the conditions of material life. Such a devotee is fully purified by offering prayers in full knowledge. This is the source of devotional service to me. So, किं दुरापं मयि प्रीते तथापि विबुध विबुध अर्षभः मयि एकान्तमतिर्नान्यं मत्तो वाञ्छति तत्त्ववित्. O best of the intelligent demigods, although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain when I am pleased with him, a pure devotee whose mind is exclusively fixed upon me does not ask me for anything but the opportunity to engage in devotional service. So the Lord is, anyway, help. He will help the devatas. After all, devatas are devotees. But at the same time, he is saying, oh, devatas, oh, demigods, hmm, usually pure devotees, they don't come to ask any material things. So indirectly, he's saying, you should come to that level. And in the purport, Prabhupada mentions this is the difference between a pure devotee and a devotee on the material platform. Indirectly, the Lord regretted that the demigods did not ask for pure devotional service. Naveda kripana shreya atmano gunavastu drik tasya tam icchate yachet yadi sopi tatha vidaha. Those who think material assets to be everything or to be the ultimate goal of life are called misers. They do not know the ultimate necessities of the soul. Moreover, if one awards that which is desired by such fools, he must also be considered foolish. Hmm. In the purport, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments in this regard that if a foolish child requests his mother to give him poison, the mother, being intelligent, will certainly not give him poison, even though he requests it. A materialist does not know that to accept material possessions means to accept poison or the reputation of birth and death. An intelligent person, a Brahmana, aspires for liberation from material bondage. That is the real self interest of a human being. स्वयं स्वयं निःश्रेयसं विद्वान् न व्यक्ति अज्ञाय कर्म हि न राति रोगिणो अपत्यं वाञ्छतो अपि भिषक्तमः Bishak an experienced physician. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. Hmm? भगवन् यातभद्रं वो दन्द्यञ्चन् ऋषि सत्तमः विद्यावृतः तपः सारं गात्रं वाचत मा चिरम. So please, you can approach. I advise you to approach the exalted sage Dadichi. He has become very accomplished in knowledge, vows, and austerities, and his body is very strong. Go ask him for his body without delay. And anyway, we know this next verses which are telling Sava Adigato Dadyan Ashvibhyam Brahma Nishkalam Yadva Asva Sira Nama Tayor Amaratam Yadhat. Yeah, so you go and ask him. Therefore, the mantras, it is said that Dadichi gave them mantras through the head of a horse to Ashwini Kumaras, whatever this uh, that can is the saving grace. Therefore, the mantras are called Ashwashira. After obtaining the mantras of spiritual science from Dadichi, the Ashwini Kumaras became Jivan Mukta, liberated even in this life. Uh, can someone say what's time now?
9:17.
Oh, okay. I'll take last 5 minutes because this particular purport helps us to understand. The following story is narrated by many acharyas in their commentaries. Of course, there is a whole Sanskrit. What is about Dadichi? In the English version, it said the great saint Dadichi had perfect knowledge of how to perform fruitive activities, and he had advanced spiritual knowledge as well. So he is perfect of how to perform fruitive activities as well as spiritual knowledge. Knowing this, the Ashwini Kumaras once approached him and begged him to instruct them in spiritual science, Brahma Vidya. Dadichi Muni replied, I am now engaged in arranging a sacrifices for fruitive activities. Come back sometime later. When the Ashwini Kumaras left, Indra, the king of heaven, approached Dadichi and said, My dear Muni, the Ashwini Kumaras are only physicians. Please do not instruct them in spiritual science. If you impart spiritual science to them, despite my warning, I shall punish you by cutting off your head. After, Rupa, where did we go? We went to Dadichi Kunda. Mm,
Yeah, we
af-
went to the Dijikund, which is in Naimisharanya.
Naimisharanya. After that, we went to Ayodhya, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I am now engaged. So, Dadichi replied, I am, if you impart, okay. After warning Dadichi in this way, Indra returned to heaven. The Ashwini Kumaras who understood Indra's desire returned and begged Dadichi for Brahma Vidya. When the great saint Dadichi informed them of Indra's threat, the Ashwini Kumaras replied, "Let us first cut off your head. Replace it with the head of a horse. You can instruct Brahma Vidya through the horse head, and when Indra returns and cuts off that head, we shall reward you and restore your original head." Since Dadichi had promised to impart Brahma Vidya to Ashwini Kumaras, he agreed to their proposal. Therefore, because Dadichi imparted Brahma Vidya through the mouth of a horse, this Brahma Vidya is also called Ashva Shira. Shira means head, Ashwa horses. Dadyan atharvanastvashte varmabedhyam mad atmakam vishwarupaya tat paradat tvashta yat tvam adhastata. Dadichi, invincible protective covering known as Narayana Kavacha, was given to Tvashta, who delivered it to his son Vishwarupa, from whom you have received it. Because of this Narayana Kavacha, Dadichi body is now very strong. You should therefore beg him for his body. Yasmabhyam yachito svibhyam dharmogno angani dasyati tatastair ayudha shreshto vishwakarma vinirmitaha yena vritas siro harta mat teja upa brahmhitaha. Lord is saying what to do after that. When the Ashwini Kumaras beg for Dadichi's body on your behalf, he will surely give it because of affection. Do not doubt this, for Dadyansha is very experienced in religious understanding. When Dadyansha or Dadichi awards you his body, Vishwakarma will prepare a thunderbolt from his bones. This thunderbolt will certainly kill Vritrasura because it will be invested with my power. Tasmin vinihate yuyam. After saying this, tejo strayuddha sampada bhuya prapsyata bhadram vo na himsanti cha matparan. When Vritrasura is killed because of my spiritual strength, you will regain your strength, weapons, and wealth. Thus, there will be all good fortune for you. Although Vritrasura can destroy all the three worlds, do not fear that he will harm you. He is also a devotee and will never be envious of you. Mm. In the purport, there is further explanation, but yeah, anyway, next chapter 610 is going to cover what happened. We'll discuss there. Yeah, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts or questions before we close? Silence. Okay, good. Then thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Vanchakalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vrindraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki